greeting from Metal Wani. Thank you very much to be with us.
Thanks for talking to us.
So we actually saw in Hellfest today. You guys playing several festivals throughout the summer. Are those kind of shows fun for you, I guess? For
Yeah,
artists?
they are super short.
They're short though, yeah. But next week we're playing a long one.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun. It's a possibility for us to reach out to people who might have not heard of us before, or so I think.
Yes, we hope.
It's the big difference, between doing a headline
Your own
show
audience.
where you know that everyone there bought their tickets to see you, or a show where people like here might
convince
just
them.
go and see, and you have to convince them and win some soul.
Are you guys just coming on a day to play and then leaving, or you having time to hang out a bit around? And
Like whenever we have the chance, we do like to stick around on festivals. But for example, tomorrow we're continuing to Graspop in Belgium, so we have to head out pretty early, unfortunately, because it's such a nice festival. But
yeah. So unfortunately, no time to see many people. Yeah, since the
unfortunately
lineup.
not.
So how was the show this morning for you guys?
Good. It was early.
Yeah.
It was very early.
Yeah.
But it was good. Yeah.
So you guys are like a machine. First album came out in 2014, Rentless Touring. Then the EP came out earlier this year. So do you guys ever take a rest or what?
No.
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 That's why we look like this.
Yeah.
As mentioned, the EP Lunar Prelude came out earlier this year with a couple of new songs, Turn the Light Out and Sucker Punch. So were those the songs we didn't made it to the Human Contradiction, or was a new song just wrote in for the EP?
No, it's kind of when we did Interlude, which was also a kind of EP with a similar function. It was like that. Like we had made We Are the Others before that, and there were some songs who didn't make the cut, and they got a place of their own on the EP. But now, actually, we kind of finished after the Human Contradiction, and then we started writing for our new album. But instead of doing that all in one go, we did it in several blocks. So that at one point, when people started talking about an EP, we actually had some songs ready for the new album already. So we chose to give them a place on the EP to whet the appetite for the actual album. Mm-hmm. And also for us to have an opportunity to start playing them already and to not have to sit on them for a year until the album is out.
Yeah. So you've been working on new album for the last few months now. So what are the updates on that? Is it finished to record or?
Yes, we've finished recording, and the mix is done, the master is done, finishing the last artwork bits now, and it is ready to come out at the end of August.
Nice. Via Napalm Record, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect. So could you tell us a bit more direction on the album?
Well, I think it's a very diverse album. I think the production is the same as the previous album. We have the same mixer and the same basic sound because we really like that. But I think it's more an album of extremes. Like the heavy song is more heavy than what we've done. The ballad is more ballady than we've done. So I think it's kind of all over the place. But there's one general thing binding it, which is being Delain and the production. So I think it's very diverse but very cool.
Well, Charlotte is just an amazing writer and singer. I love the way you evolve throughout the period. Martin is a great arranger as well. So how do you guys see yourself improving since the beginning of the band?
I think that mainly, like if there's one thing that we failed to do, then it has been kind of settling for, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Like every production that we do, like even now, so like I said, we just finished the master, and the artwork's not even done. We haven't even handed in all the files. And yesterday on our way here, it was like, so what are we going to do for the next album? How are we going to do it? Like, how are we going to write? What's going to be everyone's input? So I think that with every kind of production that we do, there is new things that you learn, and when you learn new things, there's always new question marks arising. So I think that at least what's been keeping it, very interesting is to just not settling for, okay, this is, of course there's certain things things that we always come back to, like certain sounds or certain structures that we really like. But we're not really settling for it. Like, this is how we do it, and that's how you learn, I guess. I hope.
So in a sea of symphonic metal bands, Delain made a mark with catchy song which touched the emotional side of metalhead and bewitching melodies. So what, according to you, keep Delain out of the list of monotonous symphonic metal bands?
Like what's kind of the difference, or what sets
Keep
it
you
apart?
like out of the list of the monotonous band?
Yeah, I think several things. Of course, from an outsider perspective, you see a band doing similar things. From an insider perspective, you're kind of trying to, like, I like to think that what we do and what we bring is unique, and our feelings and things put to the table. So it's always weird to take a step back and compare that to, you know, a range of products that do the same. But I think that there is certain differences. Like, we've been thematically, because that's what I like to get into a lot. But thematically, I think that the fact that our songs and our themes are much more in the present day than a lot of other symphonic bands, which are more into like this kind of fantasy world. I think that is a difference, that sets it apart a bit. And I think that also, you know, in the sound with very much mixing the symphonic with the electronic elements, that is a difference. And also there have been, but this is starting to get less in these years, but when we kind of started out, all of the symphonic metal bands, they were kind of taking the symphonic element to the level where the songs were really kind of built like symphonic compositions with, you know, but we've always really liked the pop structures. So in that way, that, you know, it's more like a pop song and a heavier coat, and yeah, with the more here and now perspective too. I've heard someone call our music sociology metal.
Wow.
Yeah. But then if you're going to say sociology symphonic metal, that's very hard to pronounce.
Yes.
So we dropped it. But yeah.
Talking about festival, on your own words, what are the best thing about festival?
The food. Food. No, I know. I really like reaching new people. The vibe is always very nice. It's like more of a party than like an actual show, so to speak. So I like that. Normally the weather is good, but this year we're kind of screwed.
We've had a lot of rain.
Yes. Yeah. No, I really like the vibe of festivals generally. Yeah.
Same here.
So recently, voice singer Cristina Grimmie was shot dead on stage in Orlando. So this is another incident after meeting back. So obviously it's a security threat for the band touring. So what is your take on that?
I
Like,
think
you
that
guys
an
touring,
idiot
you know,
shot
and
someone,
stuff. So
and I think that is horrible and disgusting.
I mean, par rapport à your
moronic.
security and stuff like that. How do you see?
Security in venues should be decent. Security should be good.
Yeah.
There should not be.
On the other hand, I mean, for me, I kind of feel like I want to tour even more.
Yeah, so
Because
that's make
what
you
they
want to
do
do more actually.
is
Yeah.
that we, you know, be afraid and shit. But
Yeah,
I
but
know.
this is the thing. Like, a lot of people ask you, do you think there should be good security, or do you think you should not care? But I think that, you know, just carrying on like you always do and not give those kind of fuckers the privilege of having you worry about it and making sure that there is good security. Those are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
For us, things like that, as fucked up and scary as they might be, they don't alter the way we're doing things, because that would be giving them too much power.
Yeah.
On the same hand, of course, but this to me is not, that doesn't even have to do with the fact that that has happened. I think that, you know, public instances should always go to certain lengths to make sure that a place is safe.
Yeah.
And there will always be idiots that do stuff like that.
I guess. Yeah. So you are touring with Evergrey later this year. The most recent album, In For The Broken, is a masterpiece. They're also releasing later this year. So how excited are you to share the stage with them?
With Evergrey, yeah, well, we're really excited. Like this headline tour, we've been planning it for a long time, and we're going with Evergrey and Cobra and Lotus. We've got some Evergrey fans in the band, so it's exciting to go on this trip.
Last word. Any word for your Indian fan, perhaps?
Well, I surely hope that one day we can
there,
come
yeah.
over. That is the big one for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.